What is going on? Welcome to No Chill Promos. How y'all doing? Hope everyone had a blessed weekend. Hope you're having a blessed Monday if you're watching this. Before I get into today's video about All In this year, just want to do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers on Rumble. Still at 118 subs. Slowly but surely gonna get to 200. And once I do that, I'll drop my favorite wrestlers of all time list, 5 through 10. Alright, but until then, got a lot of shit to talk about, especially with this fucking show right here. Alright, got a lot of shit to say. So, let's begin. Alright, and start off with the 0 hour, which I didn't even know this shit was going on early, because I forgot they're in London, and different time zones and all that shit, right? I seen a notification on YouTube, and I seen like a bunch of like reactions, like, start time is 1 p.m. I'm like, the fuck? Like, mind you, this is right around like afternoon, right? So I'm like, oh shit! I'm like, this shit's going on right now. As I tune in, and as soon as I tune in, it was right when they were doing the Saraya segment on 0 hour. But before I get to that, because don't worry, I have a lot of shit to say, or plenty of shit to say about that. Alright, I just want to kind of gloss over some of the other shit that happened on the pre-show that I think was worth mentioning. There was a sit-down interview with Brie Bella and Renee Paquette. Alright, both of them looking good. It's just crazy to see Miss Brie Mode. I don't remember thinking, hearing Brie Mode reminds me of that fucking trash-ass theme song of hers. Like that, and the other fucking, the Bella Twins songs. That you can look, but you can't touch. Fuck, I never cared about the Bella Twins. But I will say, I've always considered Brie Bella to be better than Nikki. Alright, to this day, I still feel that way. But the only thing she really said here was like, it would be badass if like Bryan wins the championship in front of his kids, and that's pretty much it, really. Moving on, one of the matches I did a prediction for was on the pre-show, so I had to go back and check it out. Alright, and that's Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Willow, Nightingale, and Tomohiro Ishii. Now, the match was what it was, but the women mostly wrestled throughout the match, and you can tell these two enjoy working with each other, man. Great chemistry. Yeah, they probably are friends like in real life or some shit. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. But business picks up once Kris tags in Stokely. Alright, and I must say, like, he didn't look half bad out there. I mean, like, honestly, I wish this man doing like a drop toe hold, and like his punches didn't look that bad. I mean, like, clearly this man has that training. And I'm pretty sure he wrestled before. Alright, he just took the managerial route for his career, which is fine, because I think Stokely Hathaway is very entertaining. I mean, guy's hilarious. Whether it's him managing or him doing a commentary, this dude gets it. Alright, he gets that this shit needs to be fun, and that's what he brings to the table. Alright, but yeah, I was impressed by his performance here, even though Ishii no-sold all of his offense. I'm like, he didn't sell a thing. He said, fuck that. Right, because there's like a spot where like Kris gets back in the ring, and she's like hitting Ishii a bunch of like forearm strikes and shit like that, right? And she does like the Irish whip to Stokely, and Stokely hits a fucking spine buster, and that shit looked clean as hell too. I was like, yo, and the crowd fucking popped. I mean, like, they're like, yo, shit, like, oh, it's like, yo, he really did that. And then like Stokely was like flexing. He's like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, you see me? I'm out here. And then you see Ishii behind him, just no sold the fuck out of the spine buster, man. Like, come on, they could have at least done like a fucking like 2 count off of that or something. Like, he just completely got up like there was nothing. Like, there's a couple spots like that. You got like when Kris Statlander did a fucking German into Willow. She just no-sold it. Just went like ran to the ropes and hit a pounce on her. I'm like, that's the shit I'm talking about with this fucking company, man. Where they do like the no-selling, and it grinds my gears. I mean, I can't stand it. Fuck it. It ruins the match for me. Alright? I'm not gonna lie, it does. But I did enjoy the match overall. Alright, so hopefully at All Out, we can finally end this feud between Kris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale. Alright, because I'm ready to move on. Alright, like, it's time for these ladies to do something else. Alright, and the last thing I want to mention that happened on the pre-show is with Saraya. Alright, so she comes out looking fine as hell. That's a sexy woman. I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit nobody says. I keep saying this every time I see her, because it's not my fault she looks good. Right? Like, that woman can get it any day of the fucking week as well. Alright? Now she comes out with, like, her friends, her family, all her fucking, like, aunts, nephews, nieces, fucking uncles, cousins. They're all out there. Alright? So she cuts a promo saying how she goes from, well, basically she's pissed off. Alright? She's pissed. Alright? Because she went from winning the AEW Women's World Championship last year at All In to now being relegated to the pre-show this year. It's crazy. I mean, like, hey, that does suck for Saraya, I'm not gonna lie. Especially in her home country. Like, that is some bullshit. Because that's the one thing I want to mention here. It's like, why the fuck was this not... They couldn't find time because mind you, they had the timer going off the whole time, right? So this shit, like, was, like, less than, like 7 minutes? If that. So I'm like, y'all couldn't find just, like, a little break in between the matches to where this segment could have took place? I'm just saying, you could have replaced this shit with another fucking jobber-ass match that nobody really gives a shit about. Just to get, some more talent on there so that they can get a paycheck. That wouldn't be perfectly fine. This shit shouldn't have been on the fucking actual main show. Because Saraya is a multiple-time Women's World Champion. Again, you don't put her on a fucking pre-show. So if she is legit pissed, she has every right to be. But I think she is, like, semi-pissed, but also, like, the other half is, like, kayfabe, trying to play it up for the TV. Right? But she went out there, essentially, she was like, AEW is my house. This is my country. And you put me on a pre-show? Like, I'm the best women's wrestler to come out of England. And the crowd was booing, like, boo. Or I think she got shut the fuck up chants. Shut the fuck up, if I'm not mistaken. But we get one of the biggest pops of the night here on the fucking pre-show. Alright. And that's the return of the real best in the world. Jamie Hayter. Or my favorite women's wrestler right now, today. And boy does she look good. I mean, like, this woman has been sorely missed, and she's been out for like over a year. There were only 3 times I popped or was marking out, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same shit, right? And that was right here for Jamie Hayter, because she had a huge ovation when she came out. Crowd lost their shit. They erupted. She comes out, cleans house, whoops everybody's ass. I mean, like men and women are all getting her ass kicked. She gets in the ring. Saraya's mom tries to intervene. She gets laid out. She gets a fucking lariat on Harley Cameron, and then Saraya pretty much escapes. She says, fuck that shit. And the crowd's losing her shit for Jamie Hayter. And you can see her soaking in all the energy from that crowd as they were just, like, losing their shit. like same way I was. Like, just happy to see her, man. Like, it's like, this women's division fucking needs her. Alright, 100%. Now, I only got one main criticism about this entire segment. Alright? And I said this earlier. This is why the fuck was this on the pre-show? Like, it's bad enough you put Saraya again on the pre-show, but you have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to put Jamie Hayter's return on the fucking pre-show as well? Like, you gotta be shitting me. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? Like, a former AEW Women's World Champion. And don't worry, I got some things to say about the championship itself, because they're starting to devalue that belt. Alright, based off the booking here on this fucking card. Alright, but I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. Alright, but yeah. So this already minus a fucking point. So there ain't no way they're getting a 10 out of 10. This is insane. You don't put fucking Jamie Hayter on a fucking pre-show. The fuck out of here. And you could have saved 7 minutes, tops, at some point in the middle of the fucking show, they could have used this shit as an intermission for like fans to like get a break, you know, or fucking walk around, go take a piss, go get some fucking popcorn, some hot dogs, some fucking funnel cakes, or whatever the fuck they eat. All right, I don't fucking know. But you know, they see Saraya come out, they're like, oh, well, I don't care about her. So they walk away, and then they hear Jamie Hayter's music come out, and then they're like, oh shit, and they rush back, they run back to the fucking the stands, right, to go see Jamie Hayter. Like, oh shit, she's back, you know. They could have done something like that, but no. We put her in the fucking pre-show. We put both these ladies, 2 former AEW Women's World Champions, on the fucking pre-show. So, yeah, shame on you, Con Man. Unacceptable, inexcusable, and just flat out bullshit. But moving on, and even before they start the show, they do the entrances for the ladder match between the Patriarchy, House of Black, by order of the Bang Bang Gang, and the mystery tag team that just so happens to be the Blackpool Combat Club. Which, you know, I was speculating that, oh, this might be the Hurt Business right here. Nope. No Hurt Business in sight. So maybe they're saving that for later on, or maybe it's just bullshit. Who the fuck knows? Alright, but yeah, they put all these guys as entrances on the fucking pre-show as well. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck was going on here. But yeah, you put, you know, the Saraya and Jamie Hayter shit, and now you put the entrances for one of the main matches on the card on the pre-show as well. I don't get it. I don't know, man. But yeah, so start off the show, right? We see all the guys in the fucking ring together. So I guess maybe they want to go with that angle to where like people are just tuning in and you see all like the chaos about to start. You know, maybe, I guess, I don't fucking know, man. I'm trying to give them a benefit of a doubt. But the match begins, chaos ensues, you know, everybody's beating each other's asses. You got Christian Cage, being a tactical genius that he is, he runs off. Like, Christian was the MVP for this match. Alright, he runs off, he says, fuck that shit, alright? I'll come back where everybody's laid out. And that's exactly what he does. Once everybody's down and out, you know, everybody does their spots and shit, he comes out, he comes back jogging to the ring, tries to put the ladder up to get the titles, but he gets stopped by, who was it? I think it was Cesaro and Brody King. They throw his ass outside. People outside catch him. They all surround him and they start beating Christian's ass. Alright. So, but yeah, another spot I want to mention here was when the MILF, Mama Wayne, gets involved. Where like she climbs up the ladder, tries to pretend like she was going after the titles. The guns stop her at first, and then we see my nigga Juice Robinson get involved. And like she was on the ring apron where she's gonna use her spray towards Juice, but Juice blocks it with a chair, and then Juice takes her spray, sprays her in the face, gets out onto the ring apron because there's a table right there next to them. And then like they're like, oh shit, like ain't no way. Like that wouldn't be crazy if fucking Mama Wayne takes a bump like onto a fucking table, like on some Dixie Carter shit. Like that would be nuts, but it didn't happen. What happened was Kill Switch or Luchasaurus intervenes, pushes his ass off the ring apron onto the table, and we get a I ain't bring nothing to the table when I'm the table moment here at that Botchamania. I am the table segment. That's what happened here. So there you go. Because that table did not break at all. No sold Juice Robinson. Alright. And yeah, but to end the match, you had Kill Switch trying to help up Christian Cage, because it was Juice that brings out the big ladder. Alright, so I'm like, alright, so this match is finally coming to an end. Juice sets up the ladder, he gets taken out by Christian. Luchasaurus helps out Christian, you know, climb up the fucking ladder. Then you got Pac on the other end climbing up the ladder because he got back after Christian hit a prettier on the chair onto Pac. And that was earlier in the match, a little bit earlier, which is crazy. That was a nasty spot, especially the way that Pac sold it. So they're climbing up. You got Pac on one end, you got Christian Cage on the other end. They're fighting. Fucking Pac knocks off Christian Cage, and new trios champions, the BCC. And I guess Pac is now in the BCC. I guess I don't know where the fuck Mickey Mox, John Moxley is at, right? But and I guess the rumors are true that the Lucha Bros are headed for the WWE, and I guess that leaves Pac hanging because Triangulo de la Muerte is no more. I mean, adios. That's just done. So I guess Pac joining the BCC. I guess I could see that. I think he fits in. So yeah, I'm happy for Pac. He finally gets his moment at Wembley, and I enjoyed the match mostly because of Christian. That he's hilarious. All right, but yeah, I mean, but these type of matches are just spot fest. Everybody gets their shit in at some point until you get a winner. Alright, so big ups to the BCC for getting the win, and big ups to all the men, putting their bodies on the line, or bumping through tables, falling off a ladder. So big ups to them. But I gotta move on because this might be my longest video. I mean, like, this was a long ass show, and I'm only on the second match on the main card. Bloody hell. So next match, which I also have a problem with, is how the fuck is the second match gonna be for the AEW Women's World Championship? You got Timeless Toni Storm being challenged by the Glamour Mariah May. How the fuck is this second? Alright, and I'll tell you why. Politics. Because you got two of the biggest fucking egos in that company in the match between Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. And I'll tell you what, and I mean this with every fiber of my being, those two are not better than Toni Storm or Mariah May. Like, get the fuck out of here. Alright, because not only was this one of the best stories and like most highly anticipated matches on the fucking card, is for the AEW Women's World Championship. Alright, well, meanwhile, you got Mercedes Moné, she's a TBS champion in the mid-card. So how the fuck is the mid-card title gonna go after the Women's World title? Doesn't make any sense to me. Now, on certain occasions, I can see it, but the feud, like the fucking feud between Moné and Baker, is nowhere near as good as the feud between Mariah May and Toni Storm. Not even fucking close. So, in my opinion, this devalues the AEW Women's World Championship. Because how the fuck is one of your world titles in your fucking company gonna go on before your mid-card title, your mid-card women's title? Imagine this. Like, I'm gonna use the WWE for instance. Like, you have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. That's the second match on your pay-per-view for like fucking Bash in Berlin. Alright, whatever. Right? But the co-main event is like fucking Shayna Baszler versus fucking Katana Chance for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Alright? You'll never see it. I mean, that will never, ever happen. Alright? But no, not in this fucking company, because they had to appease and feed the egos of two of the most overrated women's wrestlers on the fucking roster. But I digress. So let's move on to the match itself. Alright, you got the entrances for Mariah May. She comes out first, looking fantastic. Alright, another sexy ass woman. Mariah May can get it any day of the week. Alright, and I did a video about this before between I did a versus between her and Tiffany Stratton, and I'm like, I'm going with Mariah May fucking 12 times out of 10 over Tiffany Stratton. Like, I don't give a shit about Tiffy time. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit about that, man. Like, the only thing Tiffy time has over Mariah May is her athleticism. That's it. Alright, looks, you talking about looks wise, Mariah May all day, every fucking day. Alright, she comes out looking fantastic. Right, you got Nigel McGuinness putting her over heavy on commentary. Nigel was another one that was hilarious on commentary throughout these matches. And Mariah May's mom was out there ringside to support her. because she too is also from England. Alright. And then we get the entrance from the current AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless, Toni Storm. And before she comes out, we see a video, black and white, like noir style, of Toni Storm, Wembley Stadium, 1924. Alright, and that's kind of like another indicator, like, hey, she might be losing. No, this might be it for Toni Storm. Alright, but we shall see. But before she comes out, we see the man, the Kenny of AEW, Luther, for all the hog dippers out there. And big ups to, shout out to Deadlock. Where he comes out, he introduces Timeless Toni Storm. She comes out, gets a huge pop for the audience. People love Toni Storm, as they should. Alright, because this is the woman that doesn't have an overinflated ego like two other broads on this fucking show. Alright, comes out, does her thing, you know, because this might be the last time we see Timeless Toni Storm as the AEW Women's World Champion. Up until the main event, this match right here was, in my opinion, match of the night, because this is one of the matches that I cared about the most. This and the main event. Alright, this should have been the co-main event, but I digress. Alright, but this match was extremely entertaining. Alright, you had Mariah May whooping ass. You know what I mean? Like, she was not playing. This woman was on fucking demon time this entire match. When she was whooping like in Toni Storm's ass, like she spit on Luther at one point, completely disrespecting him. Like, Luther always dies every time you see him. Alright, so every time you see Luther, expect something to happen to him. Alright, and that happened later on where you got Mariah just runs and just hits like a shotgun dropkick to Luther, takes him out, right to the barricade. I'm like, damn, Luther's dead. Nah, man, he's out. He's out of here. He's done. And I gotta mention this also. Prior to that happening, you had Mariah May hitting like a running diving knee to Toni Storm. I was like, kind of like reminiscent, like a boomaye, you know, off the ring apron to Toni Storm. Alright, and then she walks around taunting the audience. The crowd's booing the shit out of her. And she walks up and kisses Nigel McGuinness on top of the head. And not just like, hey! So Nigel was winning here on this show. Alright, and then yeah, she takes out Luther. She walks up to her mom, and you're thinking like, oh, maybe she's gonna hug or like kiss her or something, like have a heartfelt moment. Nah. She slaps the hell out of her own mom. Slaps the hell out of her. You could hear it too. You're like, I definitely watch. If you haven't seen this pay-per-view, I will highly recommend you watch this match right here. All right, because I'm not going to break down the entire match. I never do. That'll take me forever. Like, you might as well just watch the fucking show if I do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, she slaps the fuck out of her mom. All right, and her mom sells it, and the crowd was like, yo, like the crowd was in shock and awe. Like, I was too. I was like, yo, she is not playing. I mean, I love it. Like, I love this shit. I've never seen that before, man. Like, fucking excellent fucking heel shit from Mariah May. Mind you, she bladed earlier because Toni Storm hit like the Storm Zero pile driver on top of the steel steps onto Mariah May. So they cut away, and she's been bleeding ever since. Like, so all this shit, she got blood running down her face, like taking out Luther, slapping her mom, just complete savage. But the finishing sequence to this match was you had Mariah May crawl over to try to use the AEW Women's World title and to go right upside Toni Storm's head. Luther said, nah, fuck you. Alright, like flicks her the bird, like, a crowd popped. At one point, Toni Storm had the shoe that Mariah May used to whoop Toni Storm's ass weeks ago, but she couldn't pull the trigger. Mariah May capitalizes off of this mistake. You got she did that pin that HBK did to Triple H at during their match at SummerSlam 2002. That finish, but it doesn't work. So then Mariah May gets up, hits that knee, that Mayday knee or whatever fucking she calls that shit, you know, to Toni Storm. Then hits the Storm Zero on Toni Storm for the 1, 2, 3. And new AEW Women's World Champion, the glamour, Mariah May. Now, this was the second time I popped. Alright, just like the crowd did, because mind you, she was a heel the entire time, and they gave her a babyface reaction. That's how superb this story was. Damn near flawless. Alright, we've seen Mina Shirakawa out there in the audience, who currently, big ups to her, by the way. She's the current Rev Pro Women's World Champion over there. So, good for her. No, I'm also behind the Rev Pro too, man. The last show I watched was that match with Michael Cool versus Will Ospreay. That's like the last fucking show I watched from them. So I'm behind, but big ups to her right now. Mariah May's mom didn't look too happy because, I mean, who would be after your own kid slaps the hell out of you? But yeah, this was the correct payoff. This is how you tell a story. This is how it's done right here. And AEW, they're capable of telling good stories like this. Alright, they need to be able to do it with the entire roster. And that's the only fucking issue, man. Like, this was excellent shit. This is good shit. One of the best stories that this company has told in its entire history. 100%, man. So I'm fucking ecstatic to see Mariah May as the current AEW Women's World Champion. And hopefully, she's champion for at least, at minimum, the rest of the year. She does not need to be dropping that title anytime soon. And once again, I had to give props, give a salute to Timeless Toni Storm, Luther, and Conman for making this shit happen. Excellent job. You guys played your roles to a T. Alright, and this might not be the last we see of Timeless Toni Storm as a champion. But we gotta move on because it's almost a half an hour and I'm only on the third match. But don't worry, I ain't got too much to say about this shit right here. And that's the FTW Championship match between hi guys, I am the Learning Tree. Chris Jericho, the champion, being challenged by Hook. Send Hook. You see Chris Jericho coming out first to a shitty, and I do mean shitty, Fozzy-like performance. I mean, nobody asked for this. I don't want to see this shit. And I said this before, like Fozzy, they have like one or two good songs. Or they're not completely terrible. But I'm like, this is not the place for this shit. Alright, but he comes out, I don't know what the fuck he was saying half the time, whatever, and singing, and nor did the crowd know what the fuck Kris was saying. Like, they're like, yeah, whatever, like, you should just play Judas. Judas in my mind. At least I know that song, but I don't know what the fuck Kris was singing out there. But yeah, that happens, and then we see Hook coming from the gorilla position, walking up the steps, and in the background you can hear the dum-dum, dum-dum. The shit that you used to hear when Taz was coming out for his entrance. So it was cool to see Hook pay tribute to his pops. Alright, he comes out, and if fucking Chris Jericho, I was saying this, like, if Chris Jericho could come out, have a shitty live performance, how come they couldn't get Action Bronson out here? Because he too has doesn't he have a history with Jericho, if I'm not mistaken? Because I remember him, he wrestled a match in AEW. I forgot who it was against, but shit, it would have made more sense later on in the match if Action Bronson was here to help Hook. But Hook comes out, he gets I guess a decent pop or whatever, and then you have the match. I really didn't give a shit about the match, to be honest, except for there a couple things I want to mention. Big Bill was over. This man was over as shit out there in the UK. And they mentioned on commentary what it was, but I don't remember what they said exactly. But yeah, every time Big Bill was like, they had a camera on him, the crowd popped. You know what I mean? But he ends up dying when they bring out a table, they put like a barbed wire, like fucking plywood on top of the table. And yeah, Big Bill falling on the table. He was done. Because essentially this match was like 3-on-1. Alright? So he gets taken out, now it's 2-on-1. And then Taz said, fuck this, I had enough. He comes out, puts the Kata Hajime submission on Keith Lee. So he's taken now, and at the same time, you got Hook putting the Kata Hajime submission on Jericho at the same time. So father and son submissions, and the crowd popped. All right, like this crowd was on fire for pretty much the whole night. All right, and the new FTW World Champion, Hook. So thank God he won. Hopefully we can end this shit. You know, he can retire the FTW Championship on Dynamite so he can move forward and chase after other mid-card championships, like the TNT Championship, which I'm going to get into later on. Alright, but moving on to the next match. Next is a triple threat match for the AEW Tag Team Championship. You got FTR coming out first, the crowd singing their theme song for whatever reason. I don't care. Right, next we see the Young Cucks coming out, and I think their outfit was kind of paying homage to the Beatles. I don't know, I could be wrong, or maybe just like the Royal Guard or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. But they come out, I don't care. I don't care about these tag teams, man. And last and definitely least is the Acclaimed. You got Max coming out with his zesty ass bars talking about like pumping penises and spank banks, and I'm tired of Max Caster. I'm tired of the Acclaimed. Alright, I don't fucking care. They had their moment where they're over, which I respect. Like, I will never knock an organic rise or like organic pops. So that's what they had before, and they're not over as they once were, man. Like I'm over it, man. Even then, like I never care about the Acclaim. I can't get behind fucking grown men going out there, scissor me, daddy ass, and then the crowd throwing up the scissors. Like, what? No, I mean, not me. Nah, no sir, not me. Ain't happening. All right, but yeah, this was, in my opinion, the worst match of the night. Or like, I don't really give a shit about the pre-show matches. I'm talking about matches here on the main card. Because I really don't give a fuck about any of these tag teams. All right, and I already knew the Young Cucks were gonna win. They're gonna retain the belts. And there was at one point towards the end of the match, they're like doing each other's finishers with different partners. Like, who cares? Right, the Young Cucks are still the AEW Tag Team Champions, as I predicted. Alright, but alright, and I know I mentioned earlier how I popped 3 times. Well, now that I think about it, I popped more than that, several times during this show, I'm not gonna lie. And this was another pop when I see the grizzled young veterans coming out there, and I was like, yo, I was like, oh shit, I was not expecting that. And I think this was the spot where Motor City Machine Guns was supposed to be. Alright, but they end up signing with the WWE. So instead, they get the Grizzled Young Vets, which I think is a brilliant move. 100%. Alright, now this is the tag team right here that should be AEW Tag Team Champions. Like, this is how you reinvigorate that tag team division with a team like this. 110%. That they lay out fucking FTR to do their finisher on Cash Wheeler. That they're both saying, you grit your teeth, and James Drake was like, Young Bucks on site, FTR on site, the Acclaimed on site. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I love it. I mean, these motherfuckers need to win the tag team championships at some point. Like I said before, I don't care about the Young Cucks, I don't care about FTR, and I damn sure don't care about the Acclaimed. Alright, this is a tag team that you need to push. You know, guys like the Grizzled Young Veterans, alright, or whatever they're going to call themselves in AEW. So, moving on to the next match, which is the Casino Gauntlet match to determine the next #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. Alright, first we see the entrance for Mr. Freshly Squeezed himself, Orange Cassidy, who was doing a homage to Mr. Bean, come to find out, as commentary explained. Because I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, oh, That makes sense. It's been a while since I've seen a Mr. Bean movie. You know what I mean? So, big ups to Cassidy for that. Big ups to Mr. Bean. Alright. Next, we see, because I'll break down the entrances, or all the participants for this match. Next was the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. They had a moment where Okada was like, he was mocking OC about the whole hug me shit that they used to do with him and the best friends. It was like Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor. They would like all get together and hug, and like camera would pan out. He was doing that. He was like, hug me, please, come on. He's like, come on, give me a hug. And OC gave him a hug, and then Okada was hilarious in this match. He looks up with a serious look on his face, and then starts to whoop Orange Cassidy's ass. Alright, and then we see the next contestant in this match, and that's Mr. Nigel McGuinness, who I also popped for. I was like, I fucking knew it. I was watching, I said this in the prediction video. I was like, I'm looking at Nigel McGuinness, I'm like, yo, this dude looks jacked. Like, he looking like he's ready to get back in the ring. So here he is, ready, about to get back in the ring. And I don't remember when his last match, official match was, but I'm like, it's so good to see Nigel McGuinness. Like, one of the best to come out of ROH. And seeing Nigel back in ring shape, I'm like, okay, so this might be another indicator that Bryan Danielson's going over in the main event. But we shall see. But he comes out, gets a huge pop from the audience, and he looks great. He looks great out there. Like, looks like he hasn't skipped a beat. Goes out there, has to face off with Okada, gets some of his shit in. Looks great out there. I can't stress that enough. It's crazy to see, surreal to see Nigel back in the ring. So I'm happy for him. Next, we see Kyle O'Reilly jogging out to the ring. Like, everybody in this match gets a little bit of the spotlight on them. So he goes out there, gets some offense in on like Nigel, Okada, and OC. Right. Next, we get the G1 Climax winner this year, Mr. Zack Sabre Jr., UK's own. Alright, gets a huge pop. He goes there, gets his shit in as well. Then we see Mr. Roderick Strong coming out, jogging into the ring, hitting a bunch of backbreakers on everybody. Next is my nigga Mark Briscoe coming out, gets a good pop from the crowd. He goes out there, gets his shit in as well. Next we see Mr. Adam Hangman Page, looking like he's ready to kill everybody out there. He goes out there, pretty much low key, takes out everybody. Next we see Mr. O Slapnuts, Double J, Jeff Jarrett with Karen Jarrett, who still looks good, I must say. You know, like, if y'all don't know, she used to be married to Kurt Angle, and there was like that whole beef between him and Kurt back in TNA. You know, that kind of transpired onto TV. Great feud, alright, but yeah, we see Jeff coming out, gets a babyface reaction, which is still crazy to me. Only in AEW can we see Jeff Jarrett as a babyface. Fucking crazy. I mean, it's bizarre to me. I don't know. But he goes out there, gets his shit in. There was a moment where Adam Page put his hands on Karen Jarrett, and before he can do anything, we see the arrival of Ricochet. And the crowd popped. It was a huge ovation for Ricochet. Not happy for him. But you could see the energy, like the happiness on his face. Like, finally. He's like, finally, I'm out of that fucking dog shit company. Like, that's what he's thinking to himself, man. Like, enough of the fucking politics and the bullshit. I just go back and wrestle how I want to. So I think that's exactly what he's going to do. So he goes out there, you know, it shows off his speed and athleticism like only Ricochet can do. So yeah, like I expect good things for Ricochet here. If not, then that's fucking crazy. like just if AEW doesn't push Ricochet, then he ain't never getting pushed. All right, I can tell you that right the fuck now. All right, but next we see the patriarch, Christian Cage, Father of the Year, but the father of AEW. All right, and he was selling the fact that he was beat up from the match prior. That's storytelling. Right? That's protecting kayfabe. So Christian limps his way to the ring. You know, he does his shit. Real quick, I gotta mention how Adam Page hits his buckshot lariat onto Ricochet. He goes for the pin. This had me cracking up. Okada just walks up and just like kicks. He just kicks Adam Page upside the head. Like he just looks down on him. He just looks at him like, serious? And the crowd was chanting like, "Oh God, oh God," because that was hilarious. He was just looking at him like, really? He's like, what are you thinking, man? Like, not on my watch. Like, that was hilarious. Like I said, Okada was extremely entertaining in this match. Adam Page gets up and they fight back and forth, and then Okada hits one of the best drop kicks in the business. All right, easily. I don't know if I could say he has like the best drop kick of all time, but he's definitely top 5, if not top 3. 100%. That drop kick is picture perfect every time. All right, but moving on. Next, we see Killswitch, aka Luchasaurus, come out, and Christian looking surprised, perplexed, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what are you doing here? He comes out, like, he puts his hands on Christian, teasing that turn, and the crowd pops for it. Like, they're waiting. They want this man to turn on Christian, the patriarch, but not here. He moves Christian to the side and chokeslam's Kyle O'Reilly. He then proceeds to drag Christian on top of Kyle O'Reilly. 1, 2, 3, your winner of the Casino Gauntlet match, Christian Cage, which I'm perfectly fine with. I'm all for a Christian Cage AEW World Championship run. I said that before in previous videos. Right, so he has my full support. I'm all for it. Then we see Mama Wayne and Nick Wayne coming down to support. We see Adam Page on the side with a look of sheer disbelief as he got fucked over yet again at a shot against Swerve. So, hey, it is what it is, pal. I don't know what to tell you. So, we move on. The next match is for the AEW American Championship. We got the challenger, Mr. Bruv, Will Ospreay. We're going up against Mr. Maximus Jacob Friedman. And these entrances tonight were great. 100%. You had Will Ospreay having like this Assassin's Creed entrance where like the new game that's out or coming out. I might play it. I don't know. I don't even remember like the last Assassin's Creed game I even played. I think the last one was what was it called? The Black Flag with Edward. I think that was 4. Yeah, that was like the last one I fucking played that I can remember. Or I think I played one of the Native American for a little bit. Yeah, that might be the last one I played. But yeah, we see this shawty out there, and I'm like, who is this? I'm like who's this dime piece right here? Like, she low key knows she's sexy. She all that and a bag of chips, whatever chips you want, Lay's, Doritos, Ruffles, it don't matter. All right, but she goes out there breakdancing, and I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck was she not in the Olympics breakdancing for the country? I'm just saying. But yeah, Ospreay comes out, and I think this might be his best attire, his best outfit to date. Honestly, like this, clean as fuck. I mean, that's the best gear I've seen him wear ever. Like, he looked cool as hell out there. I ain't gonna lie, man. But yeah, comes out, crazy entrance. Crowd, of course, loses their shit because that's their boy. All right, and they gave him all the pyro, as you can clearly see. I mean, like, they went crazy for his entrance. So good for Ospreay, man. I'm happy for him. I mean, like, he's not my favorite by any means, but I know a lot of people do like him. So hey, I'm happy for him. All right, and next we see the current AEW America champion, Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, coming out rocking the Apollo Creed drip. I see you. All right, hey, I see you. Game recognizes game. I see you, Maxwell. All right, big ups to you for that. Like, that was dope. I ain't gonna lie. So he comes out. The crowd was singing his theme song as well. So yeah, fantastic entrances, you know, from both these guys, 100%. And I'm gonna break down some of the key spots that happened in this match. First, we see Ospreay doing like I don't know what you call it. It's like he does like a handstand, like flip onto the outside to MJF. MJF catches him, almost botches it. Like that could have been scary. Like, because I seen his leg buckle when he was trying to catch him, but he recovers, catches him, hits a jumping tombstone pile driver on the outside. All right, they get back into the ring. We see MJF hit a crossroads on Ospreay. It looked like he kind of landed on his head, but I don't think he did. I think MJF protected him, but Ospreay was selling it like he did, dropping on his head. Another spot was where Ospreay was on the ring apron. MJF was like standing, not looking at him. Like the spot that they've been doing like the past like few matches that they had. All right, but he goes, tries to hit the hidden blade on the MJF. MJF dodges and he lays out the cameraman. And I'm talking about full speed hidden blade towards the cameraman. Like it looked like a fender bender out there. Like that man died. We did not see that man move. He had his undies and all showing, laid out, like curled up, and you got Ospreay checking on him, right? And he's like, "Oh shit!" Oh my, it's like, my bad, bro. Like he felt bad. Like it's like, hey man, hey, wrong place at the wrong time. All right, another spot to get back into the ring. Ospreay hits a Stormbreaker. MJF kicks out. And how crazy is that? Like a Stormbreaker used to be a protected finisher. Like you get hit by that, it's over, done deal. Now it's just another transitional move to use during the match. Fucking nuts. All right, another spot is where MJF was going to use the brass knucks, because apparently I heard somewhere that I guess his diamond ring got stolen or misplaced. So yeah, I gotta follow up on that. I don't know if that's true or not, but he uses brass knucks or tries to use it, but he gets stopped by Mr. DG, Daniel Garcia, who gets a big pop. I wasn't expecting him to be on this show, but I'm glad he was. So it's good to see him back. MJF calls him a piece of shit. He turns around, he gets nailed by a hidden blade from Ospreay, and then Ospreay takes like 10 minutes to finally hit the Tiger Driver on MJF and drops him on his fucking head. 1, 2, 3. The new AEW American Champion, Will Ospreay. All right, until he throws out that belt and brings back the International Championship. So the new International Champion, Will Ospreay. And he goes out there, the crowd is loving it. That's your boy. There was a sign in the crowd that said, Ospreay is the pride of England. Alright, so, and it sure seems that way. I mean, that's for damn sure, man. So yeah, they're loving every minute of it. And again, I'm happy for Ospreay. As far as the match itself, I enjoyed it more than I did the Broadway match a few weeks ago. But my main criticism when it comes to Ospreay matches is the lack of selling. All right, like there was a spot where, and mind you, this man's been getting dropped on his head a few times now throughout this fucking match. Okay, he hits him, MJF hits him with the American title. Then follows up with a brainbuster, drops him on his fucking head again. 1, 2, and then you see Ospreay just kick out with a burst of energy. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, what a way to nullify all the offense that you took in the prior fucking 10 minutes, 15 minutes of this fucking match. Like, that almost ruined the match for me when I seen that shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And don't worry, I'm gonna point out 2 examples of proper selling later on. And matter of fact, in the next match I'm about to bring up. But I seen that shit, and I'm like, that's the shit I'm talking about, man. That pisses me off about Ospreay matches, is the lack of selling or the no selling that he does. Man, I can't stand it. Fucking hate it. And I know there's people out there who feel the same way. But outside of that, it was a good match, I must say, and the crowd was highly invested in this match because it could have gone either way, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if MJF would have won here. but they went with the obvious hometown pop for Ospreay, as I predicted. So, moving on. The next match is for the TBS Championship. You got the challenger, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And the whole crowd did chant it, not gonna lie. Had a good entrance. She looked good out there. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, there are times where Britt Baker does look good, okay? And this was one of those times. Next, we see the champion, the CEO, Miss Mercedes Moné, coming out in a carriage, acting like she's like the Queen of England or some shit like that. And she had like 2 dogs. I don't know if they're Yorkies or some shit. I don't know my dog breeds. All right, but yeah, comes out. Yeah, Camille, like on the back of the carriage. You got some Royal Guard looking NPCs carrying the carriage itself. And I must say, the gear that both Mercedes Moné and Camille had on were fire. Like, the gear that she had on, her and Camille, were clean as fuck. Alright? And there are times where Mercedes Moné does look good. And it reminds me, like, there was like this video segment of her. She was having some type of therapy session back when she was feuding with Willow. Willow comes in, whoops her ass, and you see Mercedes Moné laying on the ground. And she's like moaning. And the way she was moaning, my goodness, like sexy as hell. And if that's the reason why niggas like her so much, then I understand, I get it. Alright, because motherfuckers swear up and down like she's like the best women's wrestler ever. I'm like, Tranquilo. Now, even though I don't like the fact that this match is going after the AEW Women's World Championship, I will say this was Mercedes Moné's best performance so far in AEW. And in my opinion, her best match. Because in previous matches, she would get outworked by her opponent, like Stephanie Vakir, for instance. That woman was running circles around her. Wasn't even close. But in this match, Mercedes had a good showcase of her offense. Alright, like we've seen the 3 amigos. She had a bunch of like pendulum backbreakers. She was really working, targeting Britt Baker's back, so that possibly she could hit the bank statement later on. And I must say, this match was better than I expected, because I went into it with lower expectations. If you know, you know. Okay? And what I appreciate the most in this match is the psychology behind it. Okay, like you have Mercedes Moné working the back repeatedly. Like I said, pendulum backbreakers. She hits an avalanche body slam on Britt Baker. And later on, you got Britt Baker hitting the Panama Sunrise that Adam Cole does, the Canadian Destroyer. Okay, and followed up by a curb stomp, and Mercedes Moné sold the hell out of it. Alright, like Britt Baker went for the cover, 1, 2. That was a 2.9 kick out, because like that's how you fucking sell offense, Ospreay. Okay, like you have like Mercedes barely kicking out, not just jumping up with a fucking random burst of energy. Like she didn't just get dropped in her fucking head. So thank you, Moné, for that. Alright, it's the little shit like that I pay attention to and I respect. Okay, there's another point in the match where Mercedes tried to go for another avalanche body slam, but Britt Baker counters it, kind of like to like a Spanish Fly-esque counter. That was sick. You know, that was a good spot there. Yeah, the crowd popped for it. Then we see Britt pull a Viva la Raza. Rest in peace to Eddie Guerrero, my favorite wrestler of all time. Alright, she throws the New Japan Strong Women's title to Camille, and the referee sees it, acts like, oh, like, did you hit Baker with that? You're out of here. Like, get out. You know, like, go on, get. Alright, and like Camille, you know, acting like she's like, oh, no, like that typical spot that they do, that Eddie used to do, but nobody does it like quite like Eddie. Right, but I appreciate this spot. You know, and Camille gets kicked out, and pretty much the finishing sequence for this match is you had Britt try to lock in the lockjaw submission that she does. Mercedes does the tap. She hits the moneymaker on Britt Baker. 1, 2, 3, and still the TBS champion Mercedes Moné. So as expected, like I said, ain't no way Moné was gonna drop the belt here to Baker. Okay, it's too soon. This was the battle of the egos. Heading into it, Mercedes Moné had more leverage. It's just that simple. So she out-politicked Britt Baker this time. So I'm sure they might run it back in the future. Maybe at All Out, we shall see. But moving on to the co-main event, which is a coffin match for the TNT Championship. The challenger, Darby Allin, going up against the champion, jungle jobber, Jack Perry. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, why the fuck is this the co-main event? I don't get it. But I get my answer after the match is over. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But you got Darby Allin coming out. He makes his entrance. He gets a good pop. And then we see Jack Baphomet Perry coming out, the TNT champion. And I say that because I see the symbolism. You guys aren't slick. Okay, with the goat head, the scapegoat. Yeah, whatever, nigga. Yeah, you ain't fooling me. I see what you're doing. Okay? He comes out. For some fucking reason, like, this dude is like, you would think he's from the UK with the ovation he was getting. But all this shit stems from last year's All In, which was CM Punk's last official match in AEW, where he beat Samoa Joe. He goes backstage. He chokes out fucking jungle jobber Jack Perry. You got Tony Khan, Con Man, in fear of his life watching this and seeing this madman on the loose. So CM Punk gets fired. Alright, you're fired. Okay? And fast forward to this year's All In, and you got jungle jobber Jack Perry getting the babyface reaction of a lifetime. Can't make this shit up. Like, fucking crazy. But going over the match was it ended pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we seen like Darby hit a drop kick, a missile drop kick onto jungle jobber on the outside. There was a spot where Jack Perry does the look real glass, pulls out a bag, pours out real glass into the middle of the ring, and the crowd just fucking erupts like crazy. And there was like a sign, you see that chick right there that says the savior of AEW. Fucking nuts. I mean, like, are you really saying that, or are you just saying that because you're attracted to Jungle Boy? With, mind you, who's dating Anna Jay, which I don't know how the fuck, I don't know what the fuck Anna Jay sees in Jungle Boy. Who the fuck knows, man? There's a lot of things I'll never understand. But yeah, the crowd goes crazy, and you see Jungle Boy like just soaking in the energy for at least a good 5 minutes. Right on, like doing like the Raven pose and shit like that. And we heard "fuck CM Punk" chants, which was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, cause like, CM Punk was never my favorite, so I could give two fucks if the crowd hates him or likes him. You know what I mean? Like they were chanting this man's name for fucking years. Okay, so they go from chanting him to saying "fuck him." Hilarious, man. So I don't know if it's a combination of them really liking Jungle Boy or them really hating CM Punk. Who knows? But yeah, they go on the outside. Fucking jungle jobber, fucking power bombs Jack Perry. He ties up both his legs and wrists so where like Darby couldn't move. Jack mocks him. He picks his ass up. He throws him off the ramp and onto a table. And pretty much the ending sequence of this match was he puts him in a body bag, pretty much. Puts his ass in the coffin. Does like a sliding knee to Darby. And then closes before he closes the coffin door, he spits on him, then closes the door. So Darby officially gets his first loss in a coffin match because he was 4-0 prior to this match. So the winner, and still the TNT champion, jungle jobber Jack Perry. Okay, so and He was showing off the TNT title that he customized himself apparently, but I don't give a shit, man. I don't care about Jack Perry. Like, there was at one point where when he was tag teaming with Luchasaurus, the whole Jurassic Express, because they were a good tag team, not gonna lie. Man, we see an improvement from Jack Perry. Like, how the fuck? It's sad. It's sad that Jack Perry has a better STF than John Cena. I mean, like, that's fucking sad, pathetic. Okay, but yeah, I mean, after they broke up or whatever, and he turned heel, he went out there looking like Steven from That 70s Show. I stopped caring. Like, oddly enough, he turned heel. I stopped giving a fuck. So I don't know. It was like some type of disconnect. But I digress. You got the Young Cucks coming out. They pour lighter fluid on top of the body bag and on top of the coffin. But before Jungle Boy can light the fire, which reminds me of one of my favorite songs by The Doors. Come on, baby, light my fire. Tried to set the night on fire. If you know, you know. Alright, but before you could, we get a surprise appearance, which Tony Schiavone says it best. It's Sting! Sting comes to the rescue. He had the Elite shook, shaking in their boots. They didn't know what to do. Jungle Jobber tried to use a chair on Sting. Now here's an example of no selling done correctly. And why is that? Because he's Sting. That's why. Okay, he can get away with that. Alright, plus you see Sting, you see the Young Cucks and Jungle Jobber, he completely towers over them. Not even close. So him, like Jungle Jobber doing like a weak ass chair shot to Sting, he no-sells it completely fine. He then hits a double Scorpion Death Drop on the Young Cucks. He goes out there to help out Darby Allin out the coffin. Meanwhile, the whole crowd was losing their shit to Metallica's Seek and Destroy. Like, they're like, yeah, Seek and Destroy. You know, great song. Not my favorite Metallica song, but it is a good song. So, again, I miss the wrestlers coming out to great theme songs. Alright, it sucks. It fucking sucks. It really does. But yeah, we move on to the main event. Now, this was the match of the night, I must say, because the crowd was electric for this match. And mind you, these motherfuckers been there for over 6 hours, and they had it's like they saved all their energy for this match right here. So we see a special video package for Bryan Danielson going over his illustrious career in professional wrestling, which, like I said this before, he's easily one of the greatest wrestlers in the past decade plus. And it's like, me personally, I put AJ Styles over him, but it's a matter of preference, honestly. So if you got Danielson as the GOAT the past decade, hey, I respect it. You know, I ain't gonna knock it, you know what I mean? But he comes out to the final countdown by Europe. It's the final countdown. That song will never get old. Alright, that's Bryan Danielson. Like, that's him. That song is synonymous with him. Like, similar to a personality from Living Color to CM Punk. You know, they're synonymous at this point, you know what I mean? But he comes out, the whole crowd was chanting, singing along to the final countdown. See, now that's a song that you could sing to, where it's not designed by purpose to be like, okay, here's your part now. Like, no, it's just that good that people sing to it. Alright, and that's a credit to the band Europe. You know, big ups to them. And like, I absolutely detest these synthetic, manufactured, sing-along ass songs that some of these wrestlers come out to. Where if a song's good, people will sing to it. It's just that simple, man. You don't need to force it. Stop forcing shit, man. Just let the shit be natural. Alright? But I digress. I don't want to go off on another rant. Alright, I already been here for like over an hour for this long ass fucking pay-per-view. Well, I'm almost done. Alright, next we see the entrance of the current AEW World Champion. Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland. You got DJ Who Kid introducing him, and and I see Swerve coming out, and I'm looking at his gear, and it says like the 8th AEW World Champion, and that signals to me. I was like, yeah, this nigga might be losing. Like this might be it for Swerve here for now. But yeah, he comes out, does a live performance of Big Pressure, but a remix with Bun B, which is way better in my opinion. And I see some people saying how this might be the best AEW main event ever. And they might have a point, honestly, because like not only was the match awesome, but the crowd was awesome the whole time. All right, and I'm not gonna get into the whole match because, again, if you haven't seen the pay-per-view, then like this match, the main event, and the Mariah May versus Toni Storm match, those are two matches you had to see if you're a wrestling fan. Go check out those two matches, 100%. All right, but there is at one point Swerve hits like a Death Valley driver on top of the ring bell to Bryan Danielson. Then that's where Danielson blades. He then Swerve drags out fucking Danielson in front of his family and proceeds to kick his fucking head in. And here's one criticism I have with Brie Bella. Now she's standing there, she has her kiddos right beside her, and they're watching Danielson get his fucking head kicked in, okay? And like she like shows like little to no emotion. Like where the fuck is the anger? Like how are you not angry to the fact that you're watching your husband getting his head kicked in, kayfabe wise? You know, she could have been like oh fuck you Swerve, you know, or you know, just something, you know, trying to go over the fucking guardrail, like something. But nah. All she does is just continues to stand there and be like, whatever. Maybe I'm tripping, but that's what I see. Like I was watching her, like her facial expressions, it did not change. Like she did not care that Danielson was getting his fucking head kicked in, like in front of his kids. But I digress. But what made this match fantastic is the selling. The amount of selling that Danielson was doing. Swerve was whooping his ass, right? But then Danielson tried to mount a counter or comeback, only to get cut off by Swerve again. Okay, and meanwhile, like you see in the face of Danielson, this dude's weak in blood. Great visual. All right, and there's at one point to where you had Swerve hitting the house call kick to Danielson. You had Danielson looking towards his family, trying to reach out to him, saying, I'm sorry. He hits another house call kick. He kicks out at 2. Then he hits like another house call kick, followed by the big pressure driver that he does. And right here, I thought the match was over. I'm not going to lie to you, because like, I don't remember anyone kicking out of the big pressure finisher so far. Like Danielson kicks out at 2.999, and the crowd loses their shit. They're like, yeah, because like the crowd knew. I'm like, okay, Danielson might win here, because normally like no one ever kicks out of big pressure. Not to mention Swerve hit the Ringo Killer on Danielson. Like big ups, shout out to Homicide. All right. That still wasn't enough to put down Danielson, because Danielson had the extra motivation because his family was right there, watched him get his ass kicked for the most part. And there's like another spot to where Swerve no-sells the Psycho knee that Danielson does. Shout out to Kenta. It's completely no-sells it, and I don't know how to feel about that. Like again, like when it comes to no-selling, it depends on who's doing it. And this far in the match, for him to no-sell the Psycho knee the way he did, I don't know. But it did make Swerve look like a savage. But after Danielson kicks out the big pressure finisher, Swerve in the corner mocking Danielson with the yes taunt that he does. Then we see one of the front runners for Player Hater of the Year, and Adam Page coming out, because he just can't let it go. And can you blame the guy? I sure can't. Especially if a man that's currently the champion that invaded my house the way that he did. Like, he has every right to feel the way that he does. So he comes out there, he wants a piece of Swerve, but security gets his ass up out of there. All right, but Danielson takes advantage, hits a Psycho knee to the back of Swerve's head, and he goes to locks in the lapel lock, but Swerve doesn't tap. He almost gets out of it, but But Danielson does a Pete Dunne here. Breaks the finger of Swerve and locks in a modified version of the bell lock, and Swerve taps out, and the crowd just, man, they went ballistic. Alright, like, it was reminiscent to WrestleMania 30, where Daniel Bryan went over on Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton on the same night to become the undisputed champion. One of the best moments at WrestleMania and in professional wrestling, because the crowd was unanimously behind Daniel Bryan then, and the crowd was unanimously behind Bryan Danielson today. And this was another example of great storytelling because of Danielson playing up with his issues that he's been having with his neck. Like the call back to Ospreay doing the Tiger Driver onto Danielson, possibly fucking his neck up, and the speculation that he's going to have surgery after this match in a few weeks. They even brought out JR on commentary because we could have witnessed Bryan Danielson's last professional wrestling match. But Danielson said to everyone watching this show, it ain't over yet, motherfuckers, because the new AEW World Champion, Bryan Danielson. And before I wrap things up, alright, because I've been here for way too fucking long. This is like officially my longest video I've ever done. Okay? Big ups to Swerve Strickland. Okay? Like, first and foremost, because they did him dirty several times during his championship reign. Alright, I ain't gonna let that go. But he did his absolute best for what he was given, and he deserves all the adulation in the world because of it. So I just want to say big ups to Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. And that is all I gotta say about this shit. And my goodness, was this a long ass pay-per-view. And despite it being a long ass pay-per-view, I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. Like, and the only reason, there's only one reason why I can't give it a 10 out of 10, for me personally. It's because he put fucking Jamie Hayter on the fucking pre-show. Unacceptable, inexcusable, and flat out bullshit. And don't worry, I'm gonna do a video to follow up on this, because I was watching 0 Hour on YouTube, and I seen the chat, and I see a bunch of fucking retards saying how Jamie Hayter is now a bootleg T-Boo version of Becky Lynch. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I'm gonna be dropping that in a few days. Don't worry. But yeah, the pay-per-view as a whole gets 9 out of 10. And I will also say that Tony Khan Man does a way better job of his pay-per-views than Triple H does in the WWE, in my opinion. So now I want to hear from you guys. The AEW fans that are sub to me, or if you just happen to stumble upon this video, let me know how you felt about All In. Okay, did you like it? Did you love it? Is it your favorite pay-per-view so far this year? What was your favorite match? Or are you like, you think this shit sucks? It went on for way too fucking long, or the wrong people went over? You let me know. Put that shit in the comment section, alright? Love it, hate it, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's all the same to me. I just want to see the engagement and the feedback from you guys. That's why I continue to post these videos into the empty, heartless void that is YouTube. As far as my next video, it will be the Monday Night Raw review, which I never look forward to doing these. I don't want to watch Raw, but I do it for you guys. Right? So I'm not one of those people. I watch this so you don't have to. So yeah, I wasted more than enough of your guys' time. Like I said, I've been here for well over an hour doing this, and it's gonna take me a minute to edit this and put this out there. So if you watch this shit, all of it as a whole, please let me know so I can give you a shout out in my next video. I got you, because that's impressive. I mean, I've been here for a hot ass minute. Okay, and so, but this was a long ass show, and I did enjoy it overall. So, but that said, be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, and trust in God. I'm out this bitch. Till next time, adios.